It seems that these videos can get you to stop sleeping at night, wondering what occurred and, more importantly, if it could happen to you. Number 12.
It's very sketchy.
That's gonna break Lucas. For real.
Lucas Haase makes up his mind to test fate and impress his friends by swimming across a half-frozen pond in Little Rock, Arkansas. It seems that the situation is not promising from the start. Here you are able to notice and hear a long crack from across the thin ice, and he's not even a foot out yet. Lastly, he performs a soft shoe to a thicker patch of ice and believes he's safe and sound, but keep in mind the water is freezing. Once you've gone under, you only have a minute or two to run away out before your muscles give way and you sink to the bottom. Lucas shrinks when he moves away from the camera and closer to dry land. Before putting any weight on the ice, he has to carefully select each step and visually make an estimate of where the ice is thickest. For a while, he's doing a good job until 4 minutes and 35 seconds later. When they see Lucas struggle and thrash below, you can hear his friends' panic in his voice. It appears that they're too far away to assist, and there's nothing they could have done to rescue him in time. It seemed that Lucas was already in shallow water and appears to be in neck-deep water. This is still dangerous, and he appears wearisome before he pulls himself free. I suspect a little that Lucas would have died whether this had occurred a minute earlier when he was even further away. Number 11. When a group of friends is going by bike on the street, they notice a human-like figure running in the shadows. It appears that you can't see anything on camera until they grovel down the window and yell something to draw its attention, which they immediately regret when they finally meet eye to glowing eye. Aside from the fact that a man putting on no shoes somehow manages to catch up to a moving car, what is completely crazy about this video is how his eyes glow white. As I know, only animal eyes send backlight in this manner. Put more simply, the face you're looking at isn't human. Number 10. This video was shot in a medical facility in Ulhanagar, India. At first glance, although it appears that an escaped patient is scaling a column to reach the second floor, if you look closely, you'll notice that some of their movements are quite unusual. There is one thing is that this person seems to be far too light, almost as if they weigh nothing at all. At the 9-second mark, notice how they reach up with their left hand and hold onto a totally flat section of the wall. Even though it seems that there is not anything to hold onto, they manage to pull themselves up. And their arms and legs are far too long here, and it appears to be hunched over even as it climbs. No matter what it is, it does not appear to be human. Number 9. A woman in Everett, Washington pulls back into her bathroom as two hooded intruders kick in the door. If she attempts to hold out against it, one of them will use a yellow crowbar to inflict serious damage. Although I'm not sure, I believe they have a strange apprehensiveness for her welfare. Pay attention to this section and attempt to guess what the person on the right is saying.
Just do that. Just do that, man. We ain't gonna hurt you. See you in the shower. Watch out!
In addition, if you listen to this section closely and it sounds like he says, "Mom, we ain't gonna hurt you" at the beginning here, although I'm not sure whether they kept this promise based on her terrified screams afterward. Number 8. A vehicle's headlights come across a large and mysterious creature in the road at 10:30 p.m. Even though it's difficult to tell, it appears that the creature is in a ready stance with its head low to the ground. Because of its coloring, I assumed it was a possum, but it's far too large. It appears that something about the way it stands doesn't seem to be natural to me, so please tell me what you think it is and if it is even from this world. Number 7. At 3 a.m., a motel guest loses memory and begins smashing out windows while going on and on. Please pay attention to this section, and attempt to figure out what he's saying. Although I believe he is asking, "Isn't this the worst yowl seen twice here?" Please let me know what you hear. After that,
"Isn't this the worst I've seen it? Isn't this the worst I've seen it? Isn't this the worst I've seen it? Isn't this the worst I've seen it?"
He says something else that is incomprehensible to me, but you might be able to figure it out.
Who deserves to live, y'all? Who deserves to live? Do you believe that you deserve to live? If you believe that you deserve to live, y'all better get out of your house and stop bleeding to death.
Even though I'm really keen on piecing together with no matter what semblance of logic he had at the time, one thing is certain: he needed to be taken care of medical after breaking out so many windows with his bare hands. Number 6. This neighbor has allegedly been a source of contention for many years. It's 4 a.m. when she arrives, loudly banging on the door and ringing the doorbell. This section is difficult to notice, so I'll enlarge it. She briefly places something on the ground after ringing the doorbell. Even though it's mostly hidden at the back of the pillar, at 19 seconds, the clear shape of a large blade can be seen. It seems to be only there for 2 seconds before it's moved off screen. The entire interaction lasts less than a minute. I'm not sure why she had this blade or what she was planning, but there's no reason to be knocking on your neighbor's door at 4 a.m. with one. Number 5. The angry spirit of a previous occupant is said to spook this old house. Take a look at what happens in the dark basement shortly after a ghost investigator named Lyle Shao sets up a camera and walks away. When the lights go out, and the door closes, an unusual number of orbs dance all around the camera, which then tip over. This appears to be more than serendipity because it occurs within 5 seconds of his exit. It appears that something below there clearly does not want to be recorded. All attempts to communicate with the angry spirit are met with resistance. It swats an electrometer here, which is used to discover paranormal disturbances in the air. With this and the camera falling over, I believe the spirit wishes to be left alone, and I believe it is best to look up to its privacy before it becomes more persistent. Number 4. This Orange County, California City Council meeting is going to devolve into chaos. A man brings to a conclusion a speech and appears to be annoyed that he is being recorded.
Loser.
So classy.
When the camera person gets up and approaches him, he pulls out a blade and everyone flees.
Congratulations.
Here's a knife. Here's a knife. Here's a knife. Here's a knife.
According to the evidence in this video, I believe he did interrupt the whole assembly and cause a panic. In my opinion, even though it was the incorrect thing to do, I don't believe he had any intention of actually using the blade. If you look closely, you'll notice that he flashes it and then tucks it away in the palm of his hand. Furthermore, he is standing far away and does not go straight or point it. He has yet to pop up in court for a fair trial as of the release of this video. Number 3. When two friends together are going by train, one of them makes an unusual request. Krista does as she is told, sticking her head out the window and grinning wide, which does not look at the back of her. Firstly, even though it appears that the other friend was just attempting to take a humorous picture, I can't help but wonder what his true purposes were. It was his idea for Krista to do this in the beginning, and watching the video again, he can see clearly the oncoming train and 4 seconds to tell her to move, but he says nothing. Number 2. It appears that a good snake handler jumps into his tank with 3 of his meanest pythons to demonstrate their tameness. When the huge albino moves suddenly at him multiple times, his demonstration backfires. Even though this wasn't the brightest idea in the world, I believe he could have pulled it off if he had used fewer hand gestures when speaking. The snake appears to be drawn to his hand movements, which resemble the rapid twitching movements of prey. I believe his left hand attracts the snake's attention here.
It's the big New Year's Day, and we just...
The colossal reptile appears to calm down until he removes his hand, this time to thrust his index finger into the air.
The real mean one's the other one.
After 3 lunges in 2 minutes, he makes up his mind to stop filming before the python wraps him up. Number 1. Though his 1980s Canadian commercial was believed to persuade people to switch from oil to electric heating, all it did was horrify children across Ontario with a singing boiler mascot. First and foremost, it has a massive grey face with sharp pointy features. The second, it's only the suitable size to eat a child. Third, the joyful tone of its voice sounds insane and menacing. Furthermore, the eyes move around constantly, and some of the camera angles look like they're straight out of a horror film. It seemed that this commercial probably didn't persuade many people to go electric, but it did persuade everyone to change the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every day. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy.